Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Profit Talk. As the name implies, we do this every single week at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, every single Wednesday. So, if you are on the Pacific Coast, that is 7:30, and Atlantic Coast is 10:30. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We have been doing a four-part series, and I'm very excited because today is part four, and the topic is what a excuse me, the CFO your medical practice never had. So let's talk about that. What a fractional CFO actually is basically what it sounds like. You get a CFO level professional for a fraction of the time, and most importantly, at a fraction of the cost. As you know, a corporation that hires a full-time CFO can pay $250,000, $300,000 for this position easily. This is far and away much more cost effective. I've stated the same model you already use for legal counsel, but there is a codicil here. Um, a good fractional CFO level engagement is a monthly cadence, as it says here. But basically, it's not payroll. You're working with somebody on a month-by-month basis. It's inside of your practice numbers. So it's not a hire, it's a relationship. And it's important to look at it like that. What the engagement actually looks like. Now, when I bring on a new, we call this Comprehensive Client Advisory Services or CCAS. When I bring on a new client in the first 90 days, we get a real monthly close. It closes within 10 business days. That's a given. It has to happen, or you don't know what your numbers are. A 12-month forward-looking profit loss projection tied to overheads and provider capacity. A rolling 91-day cash flow forecast you actually trust. It's 91 days because that's 13 weeks, by the way. Oh, sorry. And a baseline audit of the blind spots that we just discussed last week. Hopefully you're with us. If not, um, you can go to my Facebook page actually and find that, as well as YouTube. Um, all of the prior week live videos have been actually recorded for posterity on YouTube, and it's probably actually a little easier to watch that way. So by day 91, you don't have better reporting, you have clarity. The ongoing cadence is a standing monthly review. And in fact, depending on the level of services, we could be, in fact, speaking with each other on a weekly basis as well. Quarterly tax projections tied to actual performance, scenario modeling before every material decision, hiring, equipment, capital investments, lease renewals, compensation changes, and even expansions. So, in addition, quarterly tax projections tied to actual performance, not last year's numbers. Let me talk about that for a second. The IRS has a certain requirement for estimated tax payments. I basically understand it and we follow it to a certain extent, but your best scenario is to pay the amount of estimated tax that is actually estimated for the period that has just elapsed, whether or not that's 90% of this year or 100% of last year. We actually annualize estimated tax payment um, calculations every single quarter. In short, the work someone should have been doing all along. So let's talk about the cost. First of all, you want to think of this as an investment and not a drain on your bank um, because about what I'm about to tell you here. Fractional CFO engagements usually run between 2,500 and 6,000 per month. That depends on the complexity of your business, how many people you have, how much time that you need to have an executive level meetings each week, that kind of thing. So size, complexity, and scope. And uh, the answer is basically, I want to share this. Well, there's an initial conversation, and usually the question will come up during that conversation. Well, that is known as discovery. Under most circumstances, I run a comprehensive review of your books and then book a second call. And that's when we actually know the cost numbers. So I just let you know that straight up front because I think it's important to be transparent. So for the size of the practice that's watching this, the math gets interesting pretty quickly. Last week, we estimated that the blind spots inside an average private practice can quietly drain 75 to $250,000 a year. Now think about that. That's thousands of dollars every single month. A fractional CFO engagement that surfaces one meaningful decision per quarter can pay for itself for a year of service in a single month. So that's not a sales pitch. It's just plain math. The best heroes in the history of stories had a guide. Now, I love a good movie, and I definitely love a great series of books. And one thing is, I reread and reread Lord of the Rings. I can't tell you how many times as a teenager. Frodo Baggins had Gandalf the Grey, and of course, everybody knows about Star Wars. Yoda's in the very first movie, which I guess is episode 4 now. But the main thing is that the best stories that are told in the best movies have a hero, but the hero has a guide. Um, you didn't go to medical school to be a CFO, and nobody expects you to be. So you're the hero of the story. And what is expected, or what people should be able to expect, is that you have one. If anything, in these last 4 weeks of conversations that I've had with these lives has landed for you, the next step is simple. Let's have a conversation. No pitch, no pressure, and I don't have a pre-built proposal waiting in the drawer. As I just mentioned, your situation depends on your situation. We need to review your information before I can give you an intelligent or accurate idea of what we're proposing. So we just take a look at your numbers and take an honest read on whether this kind of relationship makes sense for your practice. If it does, then we talk about what that looks like. If it doesn't, you're going to walk away with a clearer picture than before. So either way, um, your outcome is a win, right? So the next step is clear, I think. We're coming to you one in three media here. I mentioned YouTube, Facebook, and also LinkedIn. And all three of those have a comments capability in common. So you can write next step or help or more info or let's talk or make up something smarter of your own and just pop it into the comments. Or if you want to reach out, um, owingsllc.com/work-with-me will take you to a website. I should have written that down on a slide, but uh, easier is probably just to make a comment, whatever media you're watching this on, either live or in replay. Also, my email is simple, eric@owingsllc.com. So give us a shout and let's talk about if this resonates for you. And you should be well into, well, not should be, you certainly are well into the second trimester of the year. We're in the third week of May here now on the 20th. And you should be doing some of the things that we mentioned 4 weeks ago. Kind of catching up metrics and making decisions that will give you a clearer picture for the third trimester that begins in September. So, is there a better time? I don't think so. You've got all the compliance and the headaches done from tax season, and now's the time to reach out if you've been thinking about doing something like this. Remember, it's simple math. It is an investment, but it unlike a doctor, and no offense to you, but this will actually put cash back into your pocket. So, with that, I hope you're having an amazing morning so far. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I look forward to talking to you soon. And if you have a chance today, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So until next week, so long, and I look forward to hearing from you.